भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञात्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दसाम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। वेदोदधिं समुन्मथ्य ज्ञानरत्नं समुद्धृतं येन तस्मै वसिष्ठाय गुरुणां गुरवे नमः। वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। शब्द ब्रह्म की जय। सरस्वती महारानी की जय। योग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। योग वशिष्ठ निर्वाण प्रकरण उत्तरार्ध सेकंड हाफ and 99th chapter. After completing the story of the golden rock, Vasishtha ji slowly changes his advices slowly from that story of the rock. He changes to ordinary life of the world. Slowly after that story, means in the end of the story, he explains everything to be only imaginary stories, nothing else, imaginations, and everything is mental imaginations. There is no reality anywhere. That golden rock was only some imagination. And that's how all those episodes, whatever he narrated, in the end he says everything is imaginations only. There is no reality anywhere. And every point he explained to Rama, whatever questions Ram had, everything was explained. Slowly Vasishtha ji started telling, you see, this creation, of course, it is mental. It is imaginations of the Creator, and that first Creator who goes on imagining all these it has got some sequence, how he imagines, and the moment he imagines something that takes some form and name, and that appears as a as a as an object which can be perceived by the senses, gross senses. Slowly, all these imaginations which are mental only takes forms and it becomes visible, and those those forms which are made by themselves, by the nature of the mind of the Creator, which we know as Maya, which is the cause for all these creations. All these names and forms slowly they get solidified and they become subtle to gross. And as it is, we see this world and we have all the all the beings which are limited by themselves in every sense. They have relation between themselves, and every being will be different from each other, and they will have relations. And in this way, the creatures are there in the creation. Creatures which are created by the imagination of the Creator. So the whole world is only imagination. And that Creator who imagines all these, that has also some background, which is only absolute consciousness, nothing else. And that consciousness is all pervading knowledge, and it is eternal, and it can be only one without a second, which can be all pervading and all powerful, and whatever is seen in it, it is wrongly seen, just as, or it is superimposed, just as the waves in the water, or mirage, water in mirage in the deserts. Some imaginations, because it is so pure and so powerful and all pervading and all knowing, which is without a second. So it appears something else to itself, just as waves appear in the water, which is not different from water. Similarly, all these creations, they are superimposed or just imagined in the absolute truth, because the truth cannot be seen in this way. In this way means the truth is all alone and all existing. So there is no one else which will see the truth. The truth itself sees itself. That means it feels itself. And when it feels itself to be something, then it has to forget, we cannot say, it has to keep aside his total experience. Sometimes it experiences itself as limited form, in limited way, forgetting the whole total existence. That's how all these beings are experienced within itself, just as the reflections. It reflects within itself, and those reflections are nothing but we have to say something. So it is only, we can say it is imaginations. And the first reflection which is seen, that will be cause for all other innumerable imaginations, such imaginations. So the first thought will be the creator, and other thoughts will be dependent on the first thought. This is how all these creations are imagined by the Absolute itself. There is none else who can imagine all these. And whatever we think or we feel as ourselves, we are something, and we have some relationship with other beings in this creation. In this way, whatever is understood as the creation, everything is imaginations in the absolute truth, because there cannot be anything else other than the truth. So, to understand this creation, first of all, Vasishtha ji starts telling a story, and then he explains all these stories, all are only some flow of some thoughts only. Thoughts are not something truth. In this way, to understand the creation thoroughly well, he goes on explaining the process of sadhana. Process of sadhana, whatever the seekers, they should practice. So he advises one should always go on go on taking help of the scriptures, and one should always have satsang, association with wise people or or experienced people, so that they can guide the seeker in right path. And in this way, Vasishtha gives importance to satsang and sat shastra. The scriptures which describe on the truth only, and they guide the seekers to get their goal. In this way, one should try to have good association, because association is the cause for our good or bad qualities. Every being will have negative and positive qualities. So negative qualities always take one to suffer, and positive qualities always gives good experiences, that means happiness, etc., or enjoyments of senses. So one should always try to practice and have good qualities like truthfulness, non-violence, or helping others, kindness, compassion, etc. All these one should practice. And one should always try to overpower, control the bad qualities, lust, greed, anger, etc., which lead you to suffering and problems. And in this way, Vasishtha also explained different realms of existence, where different beings, they suffer and they enjoy also. By good qualities and good actions, they go to subtler realms and enjoy for some time, and again they come back to gross level, and they go on traveling in the path of birth and death, this cycle. And one should try to get out of it. Then only one can experience the truth. So one should always try to have satsang, and always have sat, shastras, the scriptures which explain about the truth. in this way, Vasisth ji, while explaining all these necessities, what to practice for a seeker, he explains different kinds of beings available in this world. And in every type of beings which are always engaged in enjoying the sense objects, enjoyments only, who are ever engaged in enjoyments of pain and pleasure only, among them rarely is seen someone who tries to get out of this cycle of birth and death and attains immortality. To say so, Vasisth starts telling different kinds of beings in different levels of existence. So, there are 84 lakhs of different yonis, different sects, where different kind of beings are seen. Some are higher beings, those who are called gods of different kinds, and some are demons of different kinds, and some are human beings of different kinds, and other than these, there are lower type of beings which are animals, birds, or lizards, or even lower than these beings, plants, or lifeless beings, inert beings. So everywhere, everybody is always engaged in enjoyment of sense objects, but among them almost in every species, every sex, rarely sometimes some beings are seen which try for the knowledge or nirvana, moksha, mukti, liberation, and very rarely some beings are capable, they get able to attain to the highest. They become one with the Absolute and they forget this world. In order to say so, he is going on describing different kinds of beings, different kinds of lower beings. So, in this chapter, 99th chapter, Vasisth was narrating about these lower type of beings, say ants or earthworms or lizards, say moths, butterflies or caterpillars, etc. All these, they have no sense of all the satsang or analytical intellect they don't have, which a human being has. And all other beings are always, they are concerned with their life only, how to live the life and how to enjoy the life in full manner. Say, every being may be very unimportant, say all these lower beings, even for them the life is as important as life for the human beings. The higher beings, which are subtler beings, known as different kinds of gods, they are also always engaged in enjoying sense objects in subtler way. And other lower beings, they are also always engaged in eating, drinking, living the life somehow or other, and say four things are common in every being, say propagation of life and fighting for existence. So fearing among themselves and enjoying the sense objects and taking rest. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithun. Say, everybody wants food to support his life. That much intellect everybody has, every being has. Accumulating food to sustain his life and having a relationship with other beings, so fighting or having friendship or fearing each other or all these type of, say, hating or making friendship, all these qualities every being will have. And after some time, one gets tired, so one has to rest, and one wants to continue his race further. So propagation, every being is subject to think in this way. But rarely one gets such intellect to analyze things and to see properly, mentally, analytically, to see things which are good for us and which are bad for us. Good means which can take us in right path to achieve the goal, and which are negative, they take away from our goal of life and they should be abandoned. Such intellect which analyzes everything properly and understands what is good and what is bad, what is permanent and what is impermanent. Such intellect is known to be discriminative power, and this power is not seen in every being. Rarely, sometimes, the sincere, advanced seekers may get such discriminative power, which is very rare. In order to describe all these points, Basidji was explaining to Rama, every life is so important to themselves. Say, an ant also lives his full life, and his life is so important to him itself, just as the life for a human being. Because it is negligible, nobody cares for it, don't think his life is so useless. Every life is useful and important for the particular being. Just as the human being likes to live the full life, say 100 years or so, enjoying their different phases of life, childhood, youth, or old age, etc. Similarly, all these beings, they like to enjoy the full span of life, and they do enjoy it. Let the lifespan may be very small. Say, human beings, if live for 100 years, the fly lives for, house fly, it lives for 20, 21 days. So small span of life. But that life, 20 days life, is much important to the fly itself. It enjoys its whole life within this short time. This is what Basidji was explaining to Ram, so that we can have a knowledge of every detail of this creation, how different kinds of, innumerable different kinds of different beings, how they are, they live their lives, and all these are controlled or managed by the nature. And finally, one total body which controls the whole universe, as one managing or controlling power, which is known as the controller, all controller, Niyati, one who controls everything. Sometimes it is understood as the time, the eternal time. Sometimes it is named as the all controller power, Niyati we say. or sometimes we name it as Mahamaya, the illusory power, which is nothing other than the imaginary power of the thinker, the fast thinker, one thinker which is known as the creator, and that creator always will be supported by the absolute consciousness, and everything, all these beings or all these creatures, everything is nowhere else. It is only in the absolute truth, which is just superimposed or just imagined, which has got no other real identity other than the absolute. This is the essence of the story. So to end the story, Vasirji comes to explain all these kinds of different lives in this creation. We were discussing the 99th chapter about the different kinds of lower beings. भद्र छोटे छोटे अणुमात्र जो जीव हैं उसको भी अपनी योनि के अनुसार हम मनुष्य जाति के लोगों की जैसे ही सुख भोगने की इच्छाएं रहती है, परंतु हम लोगों को उन भोगों में एक तो आस्था नहीं है और उनका प्राप्त करने में कोई अधिक विघ्न बाधा भी नहीं पहुंचाता। उनको तो मोह काम आदि दोषों की अधिकता के कारण तथा विवेक का मात्रा के अभाव से उन भोगों में अधिक आस्था है और उनकी उनको पाने में उन्हें पर्वत के सदृश बड़े बड़े विघ्नों का सामना भी करना पड़ता है। Basirji says all these lower beings, say lizards and all these ants or mosquitoes or flies, even still lower than these monocellular amoebas, hydras, etc., they have also their lives, and their life is so important to themselves, just as our life to ourselves. Everybody wants to enjoy his life, and they do enjoy because they don't have the discriminative power. So they are ever engaged in the enjoyment of their sense objects, and that is in two ways only, always happiness or unhappiness, pain or pleasure. So when one faces the difficulties or problems in life, he has to fights with the disturbing facts. It is seen in every life, even these smaller beings, these insects, etc. They also fight among themselves. They like to have pleasure and avoid pain, or to fight against all these barriers. And every life is a battle, always fighting for existence and enjoyments, and say to live his life properly and as he likes. In this way, the life becomes a whole battle. Everybody works hard, toils hard to live in a happy way, in a way it likes to live. Every life is like this. And everybody will have all these lust, greed, and you see, jealousy, etc., all these bad qualities every being has. And every being always try to enjoy, not to suffer. That is the struggle. बड़े बड़े विघ्नों का भी सामना करना पड़ता है सबको. Every being has to face difficulties in life. Don't think only human beings have problems in life, but even a small mosquito, he has problems in life. One fights against others, one loves others, and they will have family life, or they will have friendship and enmity. Everything is in every being. This is the common thing in life, good and bad qualities. Every being has all these type of life, not only human beings. यदि प्रश्न हो कि भोगों में बहुत आस्था है, यह आपने कैसे जाना, तो इसका उत्तर देते हैं, प्रयत्न की अधिकता. इस आशय से कहते हैं कि भद्र जिसका समस्त ब्रह्मांड एक शरीर है, वह विराट हिरण्यगर्भ जैसे अपने अधिकार निभाने की अनेक चेष्टाओं के द्वारा सब भोगार्थ प्रयत्न करता है, वैसे ही केशों के अग्रभाग के सदृश देह वाले कृमि, कीट आदि भी बालक की मुट्ठी के छेद के अपेक्षा भी छोटे अल्पकाय आकाश में प्रयत्न करते हैं. देखिए तो सही कि कैसी अहंकार की महिमा है। You see, not only all these lower beings, not only human beings, nor the gods, etc., but even the whole the whole cosmic body, the creator also, he has got all these type of thoughts. These are only thoughts, good qualities or bad qualities, or willpower, etc. All these are thoughts only. So the cosmic mind also thinks in this way, and that's how all the individual beings are also forced to think in the same way as the cosmic being thinks. So all these bad thoughts or good thoughts, they are seen in the cosmic being. So it is found in the lowest being also. Let it be smaller than the atom, but yet it will have all these qualities, good and bad, and all these thought process about the whole life of it. May it live for a moment, but it wants to live its life totally, freely, happily, and without troubles, and it wants also to continue its race. So all these qualities are found in every being. Every being. Smaller than the smallest being and greater than the greatest being. Don't think only big elephant will have enemies, but small ant will not have any enemy. Why? How can it have any enemy? They are so small, how can they fight? But it is not so. Every being will have such process of thoughts of his own life, having all these positive and negative types of thoughts and desires, and every being is ever engaged in enjoying their sense objects. Every being wants to enjoy happiness, doesn't want to face problems in life. And every being has also problems, and he struggles to overcome the problems and get his desires done. This is the analytical vision of the whole universe, whole creation. एकमात्र शून्य विषय वाले गगन पक्षी निराधार आकाश में उत्पन्न होते हैं और वहीं पर मर जाते हैं। उनका कुछ भी विषय नहीं मिलता है, परंतु क्षण भर वे स्वस्थ नहीं बैठते हैं, यानी वे अपने प्रयत्न से तनिक भी हटते नहीं। गगन पक्षी, sometimes we were talking about the Gand Bhairav. They talk about some bird which is seen in the sky only, and it lives in the sky, it has its nest in the sky, it lays eggs in the nest in the sky without any support, and it lives whole life, it does everything in the sky, and it has its family in the sky, and nobody hears its voice, its sound. One who hears it, he will be subject to death. They're not there. Nobody hears its sound. If it makes some sound, one who hears it, he will die. Such is the bird which is named as Gand Bhairav. Subhasidi also telling about this bird. एकमात्र शून्य विषय वाले गगन पक्षी निराधार आकाश में उत्पन्न होते हैं. All other beings which we see or we can imagine, even up to the monocellular amoebas, they have their such life, and they struggle to live the whole life with full pleasure. Nobody wants to suffer, and everybody lives his whole life, total whole life. So, Vasiri says, maybe some being in the baseless sky, supportless sky, may be some birds which has got no ideas of life, which will not have any struggle for life. Such birds somewhere in the sky may be who have no base. They live in the sky, they take birth in the sky, they die in the sky, and maybe some such beings in the sky who will have no such struggle to live the life, but all others will have similar style of living the life. क्षण भर वे स्वस्थ नहीं बैठते होंगे, यानी वे अपने प्रयत्न से तनिक भी हटते नहीं होंगे. Some such imaginary, some birds in the baseless sky which will have no idea of life and no struggle to live the life, no desires at all. How can it be? And they will not have any problem of life. But all other beings, let it be very small or very big, every life will have problems and pleasure and pain both, and struggle to live life happily. Such is the common factor in every being. कर्ण आदि के उपार्जन में पिपीलिका आदि का अधिक प्रयत्न देखा जाता है। इससे भी अनुमान होता है कि उन्हें भोग की आस्था बहुत है। इस आशय से कहते हैं, भद्र देखिए, ग्रास तथा निवास का संपादन तथा कुटुंब पोषण आदि नानाविध चेष्टाओं से यह प्रतीत होता है कि जैसे पिपीलिका के लिए हमारे दिन जैसा भी दीर्घकाल उनके कणोपार्जन प्रयत्न के लिए क्षण के सदृश पर्याप्त ही नहीं है। He gives the example of the ant. You see, ants are always very busy. They are seen to be very busy, running here and there and collecting their corns for eating and having relationship in their family, and sometimes struggling hard to collect their livelihoods. It is seen in the ants even. So it shows everybody is totally engaged in living his life. No being has any time to think of the life or to get rid of this cycle of birth and death, etc. No being has time because everybody is engaged to struggle for his life. Nobody has time to rest. भद्र, यह एक और नवीनता सुनिए. Something strange he is going to say, O Ram. तिमी नाम का जो अत्यंत छोटा त्रस रेणु के बराबर का जीव है, उसकी गमन में ऐसे व्यग्रता दिखाई देती है जैसे कि गरुड़ की गमन में व्यग्रता दिखाई देती है. तिमी, हाँ, ये तिमी को कहा बहुत छोटा. तिमी तो बहुत बड़ा मछली होता है पानी में, समुद्र में. तिमी, तिमिंगल, ये सब ये कह रहा है बहुत छोटा हो सकता है. त्रस रेणु प्रमाण आत्मा, क्रिम्याणु स्तिमिनामक क्रिमाणु. अच्छा, he says some insects which is named as timmi, some very small insect. कृमि कहते हैं ना, टट्टी में जो सब छोटे छोटे जीवाणु दिखते हैं, वो कृमि कहते हैं. कृमि, small insect, germs, small germs found in the stool. They are called creamy germs. And some such small germs which is named as timi. He says, उसका भी गमन में ऐसी व्यग्रता दिखाई देती. It also travels, that smallest germ also, it travels so fast, just as the Garud, the vulture, flies. It flies so fast. Its movement is so quick to itself. Of course, we may say it is there only, it is not moving at all. For us, for our bare eyes, we may see it is not at all moving, but it is moving so fast, just as a vulture moves. That means he wants to say everybody is very busy in life. Nobody has time to rest. Their movement also, it is so quick for themselves. It may not be very important for us, but for them it is so important, so quick. He is so much struggling to go from one place to other place. Their life is also always busy, ever engaged in life. देह में और देह भोग्य वस्तुओं में अहम ममता का अभ्यास मनुष्य और कृमि दोनों को एक सा है, यह कहते हैं. श्री राम जी, यह मेरा है, वह मेरा है, इस तरह कल्पित अध्यास रूप जगत जैसे मनुष्यों के लिए अनेक ऊंचे गुणों के कारण अत्यंत आस्था का भाजन है, ठीक वैसे ही कृमि के लिए भी है. Basidi ji says, "O Ram, just as the life is so important for a human being, and every object he possesses, he gives importance to it. This is mine, this is not mine, this belongs to some other person." And all these importance of having possessions and not having possessions as mine and as others, all these relations and possessions, all these things may be very important for the human being, but it is the same as importance wise, it is the same to a smallest germ, smallest amoeba also. His life, his possessions, his relations are so important to itself. Don't think your life is very important and others' lives are not so important to the nature. Every life is very important, very valuable for itself. विषयों की आस्था के कारण आयु का जो निरर्थक क्षय हो जाता है वह भी हम मनुष्य एवं कीट आदि का समान है। Just as we, the human beings, waste our time also for nothing, similarly other lower beings even, they also misuse their time. They also spend time uselessly in their lives. Human beings, does everyone spend its time properly and very careful to use the time? Everybody misuses time, spending time for nothing, for useless purpose. Nobody cares for time, and the whole life is gone so smoothly, so quickly, one feels at the time of death. Similarly, other beings also, they also misuse their lifetime and they also repent in this way, just as human beings. They also misuse their time. And their lifetime also so important for themselves. देश काल क्रिया द्रव्य आदि विषयों की प्राप्ति के निमित्त व्यग्र बुद्धि से जैसे हम लोगों का जीवन जर्जर यानी क्षीण हो जाता है, वैसे ही व्रण कीटों का भी उक्त व्यग्र बुद्धि जीवन क्षीण हो जाता है। Just as we feel we spend our life uselessly and struggle for useless things, our intellect is always engaged in accumulating things, and in the end we repent for misusing the lifetime. Similarly, other beings also feel. They also misuse their time and their mind is always engaged and ever eager to accumulate things for life. Even the grasshopper, it accumulates foodstuff for itself, and the ant also, it accumulates so much for future and for its family. Everybody's life is same, not different. वृक्ष आदि स्थावर जीव कुछ कुछ जागते रहते हैं, पत्थर एकदम सोते ही रहते हैं, यानी घनी नींद से सोए हुए ही रहते हैं, और कृमि कीट आदि तो हम मनुष्यों के जैसे अपने अपने उचित विषय भोग में निद्रा एवं जागरण दोनों से युक्त रहते हैं. He is giving little difference in different lives. Say living beings, starting from the monocellular amoeba till the elephant or gods, etc. All these living beings have the same style of life and same style of living life, properly or uselessly, and spending their time and earning livelihood, etc. Every living being has same method and same feeling of life. And there are some other beings also, just as the plant lives, they are half living. They are not full living beings. They are just like dreamy beings, half awake and half sleepy. So they don't have such feelings as living beings. And some are total non-living, that means they have life just as stone or other inert beings. They have life, but they spend the life just as in deep sleep. So they don't have any restlessness in the life. Inert beings, they are also being because they have become something. They have the name and form, they have existence, they have everything, but they live their life just as in sleep. They have no restlessness, they are ever resting, ever rest, ever rest. And half living beings, say plant lives, they live their lives like dreamy objects, just as they are dreaming. But all these living beings of different kinds, they have the similar lifestyle. They are always restless and ever engaged in struggling to live a pleasant life. शरीर काल में सुखपूर्वक स्थित ये जो कृमि कीट आदि हैं, उनको भी हम लोगों की सदृश शरीर विनाश ही दुख पैदा करने वाला है, और जीवन शरीर में प्राण स्थिति सुख पैदा करने वाला है. Everybody wants to live, not to die. Just as human beings are afraid of death, nobody wants to die because of body sense. Similarly, all these smaller beings, say smaller means smaller in body, but life is same. They also, they are even the amoebas, all the germs also, they are afraid of death. They don't like to die. and they always like to live. All these qualities, all these types of thoughts in life, everywhere it is same. Nobody wants to die. Even the small ant, it wants to live for eternity. It has got no sense that it is living some useless life. Don't think their lives are useless. They have to live their life just as human beings want to live their lives. Every life is as important as the human life is important to human beings. Everybody is bewildered. Every being is concerned with the life. Everybody, every being struggles to live his life properly and happily and for eternity. Nobody, no being wants to die. This is the beauty of the creation. The creation doesn't want to dissolve. Even the plants, they don't want to die. Everybody wants to live. So it's a struggle to live. Life is a struggle to live. सब सुख पैदा करने के लिए चाहते हैं। शरीर, जीवन, जीवन सुख पैदा करने वाला है। जीवन में रहना चाहिए, मरना नहीं चाहिए। हम लोगों के भोग्य घर, महल, धन आदि को वे कैसे देखते हैं? हाँ, we have, human beings have our house, our family life, our wealth, our life supports, everything we have. So we have our things for enjoyment. Tomorrow we'll have Bhandara. So, do the ants enjoy their Bhandara sometimes? If they catch some dead grasshopper somewhere, it will be their Bhandara. So many ants will gather together. So, everybody, all other beings also, they act similarly, they feel similarly. जैसे बेचा गया पुरुष अन्य द्वीप को उदासीनता से मुग्ध दृष्टि होकर देखता है, वैसे ही पशु, मृग आदि उनके अभोग्य घर आदि पदार्थों को उदासीनता से मुग्ध दृष्टि से देखते हैं। We have natural disaster. All our houses were washed away by avalanche. So many people are suffering. Is it seen in the lower beings? Do they feel like this? Do they face some natural disasters and they get trouble in the lives like this? Yes. Your avalanche may be important for you. Little sweeping of your room, your bedroom also will be natural disaster for some ants. They also face similarly some disasters, some mishaps in life, and feel they feel unhappy, they suffer in life also. This is seen everywhere. Sometimes get they get indifferent mentality towards the life when they get disasters. They feel indifferent towards life. Oh, what is this life? Full of troubles. जैसे हम मनुष्य जाति के जीवों को संसार सुख दुख देने वाला है, वैसे ही तिर्यक योनि पशुओं को भी है। केवल भेद इतना है कि उत्कर्ष अपकर्ष बुद्धि के कारण गुण क्रिया विभाग वे नहीं जानते हैं। गुण क्रिया विभाग पशुओं में नहीं होता है, इतर योनि में नहीं होता है। क्या ये गुण क्रिया विभाग, व्हाट इज इट? Only little difference, just as we know artha kriya karita. Whatever we do, whatever action we do, we get some satisfaction of doing the action. That satisfaction is the result of doing the action. क्रिया का, कर्म का जो फल, after doing the action, whatever satisfaction that is, I have done, that ego satisfaction, I have done this, that satisfaction is seen in every action when we are awake. But when we sleep, we don't have such a feeling because we don't do any actions. But in the dream, we have this ego satisfaction in as long as we are in dream. But the moment we get up, come to the waking state, we forget about the dream. So there is no ego satisfaction. Now he gives another formula, you see, Guna Kriya Vibhag. There is a formula, we name the object according to its qualities and its actions. How does it move? How does it do action? Accordingly and according to its nature, its qualities, the object is named. Guna Kriya के अनुसार नामकरण होता है. Similarly, we see guna kriya when we see the qualities. According to the qualities, the object moves or it acts according to its qualities. Nature, the water, it is liquid by nature. So, liquid will be always moving downward. This will be the quality of the nature. The liquid always will move downward. It will not move upward. This is the nature of the quality. So, guna kriya, according to the nature, the object will perform its action. That means it will act according to its nature. So what he says, जैसे हम मनुष्य जाति के जीवों की संसार सुख दुख देने वाले हैं, ऐसे ही तिर्यक योनि पशुओं को भी है। केवल भेद इतना है कि उत्कर्ष और अपकर्ष बुद्धि के कारण गुण क्रिया विभाग वे नहीं जानते हैं। There is little difference between the human beings and other lower beings. Little difference. They don't have this type of intellect which can analyze between the nature and its actions and its results. Of course, it is some kind of lower intellect than the discriminative intellect. Discriminative intellect will be so sharp and only act on two things. One, it will decide this is perishable. The other side is imperishable. One is truth, the other perishable one is the world. Everything is subject to decay here, subject to destruction here in the world. So all this whole creation is perishable, one side, and other side is truth is imperishable, eternal. This type of decision between the two is known as discriminative power. But we have intellect. That intellect, of course, decides everything, decides objects which are subject to us. It means we possess it or we have relationship with it, we have transaction with it. Our body is related with so many belongings, so many possessions, so many other things. And every object what belongs to this body, the mind decides over it. And wherever our senses are engaged, means perceive the objects, whatever senses perceive the objects, there of course also our intellect works. It decides what it is, how it is, where it is, when it is, where from. All these qualities or all these aspects are decided by the intellect. Mind is only a flow of thoughts, and thoughts only get associated with the object, and after getting contact with the object, whatever reaction is seen, that reaction is decided by the intellect. How it is, what it is, all these facts are decided by the same thoughts, but subtler thoughts, which is known as the intellect. And this intellect, it decides every ordinary sense objects, whatever contact we have with the objects, that is decided and it is finalized by the intellect. But still there higher intellect is there which decides things which are good for us, which are bad for us, which is favorable, which is not favorable. All these also is decided by the intellect. The subtler part of the thought waves, they decide all these. So higher things are also decided by the subtler intellect. That we know as Medha. Medha. That boy is Medhavi boy. Medhavi, intellectual boy. He is very intelligent. That intellect shows this power which decides good and bad, which decides other good and bad qualities of the subtler qualities of the object. That is found in human beings also only, but not found in the other beings. The lower beings don't have such a higher intellect to analyze things and accept or reject things according to the decision of the intellect. Such intellect is not found in other beings, it is found only in human beings. And of course, the discriminative power is not found in every human being. It is rarely found in some higher seekers, not found in every human being. Everybody is ever engaged in, ever struggling in acquiring enjoyments in the life, enjoyment in the sense objects. Everybody is engaged, and not only human beings, other beings also. Whole life is a struggle to live happily and not to die, but to live for eternity. Every being has such desire, and this desire only throws you to the cycle of birth and death. Only that discriminative power only can take you away from this cycle, and which is given to only human beings, and those human beings who are very, very sharp and very, very, you see, alert in analyzing everything and accepting which is favorable in long run, which can lead you to the goal. Rarely one gets such power. बेचे गए मनुष्यों की समानता पशु में बतलाते हैं। अच्छा, बेचे गए मनुष्य की समानता पशु में भी बतलाते हैं। Sometimes we human beings, they are sold and they are purchased also. How? Suppose you are doing some job. Your boss has all the power to dictate you and punish you and reward you. Everything it does, isn't it? So you are not doing the job only for your livelihood, but you are sold to the boss. You are purchased by your boss, by the company. It has given money to purchase you. So sometimes some people, mostly people feel dependent or they don't feel freedom, always bound to the duties and their, say, works. This feeling is always there in human beings. We sell ourselves and we purchase ourselves. Selling and purchasing means all this, doing jobs or earning livelihoods, doing some work under somebody. So you sell yourself. So these type of feelings also are seen in the other beings, say animals, say our cows or dogs or buffaloes, horses, mules. They feel they are owners. Who are their owners? They know, they feel the relation between them and their owners, or they are anti-persons, they are enemies who behave badly with them and who behave with them with love and affection. They have all these feelings. So some animals also have such feelings which human beings have. That is, Basirji says, बैल आदि पशु जो नाथे जाते हैं, उनको नाक में छेद करके वो बनाते या हमारा कुछ लगाते हैं, नाथे जाते हैं, मन से भीतर भीतर सुख दुख से खींचे जाते हैं और बाहर से नाथ रज्जु के द्वारा नासिका प्रदेश से खींचे जाते हैं। यूँ दोनों ओर पराधीनता से खींचे जा रहे हैं भी वे कुछ भी अपने दुख हरने या प्रकट करने में समर्थ नहीं होते। ठीक इसी तरह के द्वीपांतर में विकृत पामर जन भी होते हैं, इसीलिए दोनों की समता है ही। करें sometimes human beings were also sold fully. Some white people, they used to purchase black people, Negroes, and they use them just as animals because they are taken to other lands. They didn't have any freedom to talk anything or to go against the owner. They are sold just like animals. So sometimes some such feelings of dependency uh, and having, you see, having been sold to others, such feelings also are seen in animals and in human beings. Similarly, it is seen वृक्ष आदि के सुख दुख के अनुभव की प्रणाली हमारे सुख दुख के अनुभव के अनुरूप ही है. Tomorrow we shall see how other beings, how the plant life, how do they feel? Do they feel happiness or unhappiness? Do they suffer? Do they enjoy sometimes? Just like the human beings. That analysis we shall see tomorrow, and further also other qualities we shall compare with human life and other lives. This purpose is only to see how is the life in this world, life of all the beings, and how it is miserable without the discriminative power which is rarely seen with these beings. All these beings, different kinds of beings, subtler or gross or the lower beings, every being is ever engaged in struggling for the life. And nobody is aware that the life is based on the absolute truth. Nobody knows it, nobody feels it, though it is the truth. Why we analyze all this? Because to see how is the life here, and then only we can discriminate how miserable is the life without a proper analytical intellect. If you don't think over your life seriously, if you don't know your life properly, how it is, where it is, and what it is, if you don't know, then your life is just like the life of other beings, and you are always subject to this cycle, birth and death. ever put into this dungeon. This is the only purpose why Vasishtha explains in detail all the style, all the types of different beings in this universe. Once you know it thoroughly, then you will not like to come to this world again, how the life goes on. So tomorrow we shall see more. And tomorrow is 8th September, Gurudev's birthday. So tomorrow we will have Pada Puja, etc. Tomorrow there will not be any class. Please excuse. Thank you. Tomorrow the class will remain closed. Hari Om. Hari Om. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavaseshyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Sabda Brahma ki jai. Saraswati Maharani ki jai. Yoga Vasishtha Bhagavan ki jai. Hari Om.